Good day. I am Belkis Campos, architecture student of the Universidad Simón Bolívar and current student of the English for Architecture and Urban Planning 3 course. I will be introducing the course final project, which wishes to bring to your attention the characteristics which make Venezuelan architecture unique. Venezuela is the paradise with a woman's name, the best kept secret of the Caribbean, and the most chévere traveled destiny. Venezuela is our people, and Venezuelan architecture represents us. Dynamic, bold, traditional, alive. The architecture in Venezuela has sparks of what Venezuelans are about, and as many say when they leave Venezuela, there is nothing like Venezuelans, and there is nothing like Venezuelan architecture. Color. Venezuela, being a tropical country, counts with many buildings which use color as an indistinguishable element of the design. With bold colors, Venezuelan architecture adds energy and activity to their cities. Buildings such as the Teatro Municipal de Chacao or Quinta La Isabel become points of interest in the city due to their contrast with the rest of the streets. The Francisco Fajardo Avenue, which counts with mostly blue and gray buildings, receives a shock of color by the theater, and its color reflects on the buildings which are near to it. The Carmelitas Corner becomes one of the most important points of the center of Caracas because of the baldness of its colors, just as the Santa Capilla. Lastly, slums have become an undeniable part of the Venezuelan city. The contrast between the clay color of these informal houses and the green of the mountain creates a sense of fullness. But now, thanks to initiatives such as Échale Color, our slums have started to really become alive with color. Light. The Venezuelan sun lights up our cities the whole year long. That's why Venezuelan architecture must not only make the best of the natural light we have, but also protect us from it. The Venezuelan rays of sun are controlled through parasols, the use of openwork walls and pergolas, and by the receding of levels. In this way, buildings can take advantage of the sun but not receive its rays directly. The Universidad Central de Venezuela is a perfect example of the use of these elements, with a dynamic game of openwork walls and parasols in the building's facades. Light is the smallest problem of this university. The Centro Cultural Flor de Venezuela, through 16 structures which have the form of petals, work as coatings during the day and are closed for the evening, using light to their advantage. In other cases, some Venezuelan buildings depend only on the sun to illuminate the interior of the whole structure. Through light trespassing coverings, buildings like the Catedral Metropolitana in Barquisimeto use only sun. Texture. Venezuela is filled with visual and textile textures. Venezuelan buildings almost all use the same materials. That is why they depend on the treatment of these materials and the changing of the texture in order to create versatility in the way these materials are presented. For example, the Teatro Teresa Carreño uses texture to indicate differences between its different facades, and even to indicate the pavement path which marks the entrance of this outstanding structure. The theater maintains continuity in the type of material, but versatility in the way it's presented. On the other hand, the Club Táchira makes the best of natural textures to enhance the appearance of buildings. The smooth appearance of this wood texture creates a sense of continuity and elegance. Even Caracas mountains have texture due to the presence of slums. Venezuela is a game of textures. Acoustics. Venezuela is a country filled with music and dance, and that's why it must count with spaces which acoustically help in these types of activities. That is the case of the Concha Acústica of the Parque del Este, which must expand sound to the entire entrance in order to enjoy bailoterapia on Sunday mornings or a concert for the visitors of this park. The square of the Banco Central de Venezuela building also counts with spaces acoustically capacitated for these kinds of activities, with ramps to contain the sound inside the selected space. Venezuela is also famous for its orchestra groups. For this reason, it counts with the theaters which must be the perfect stage for our talents. The Teatro Teresa Carreño has one of the best acoustic atmospheres in the world, and the center of the Banco Central de Venezuela preserves sound impeccably. Rhythm. Rhythm provides versatility and change to our buildings. Parque Cristal uses repetition in its glass facades to accentuate the subtractions of the form. The Hotel Hesperia in the city of Valencia used a repetition of lines as the Palace Hotel in Caracas. The Centro Venezolano de Guayana in Puerto Ordaz uses a repetition of parasols and repeats itself till it disappears. The entrance of the Vanaven Center shows a repetition of empty spaces which decrease until they become whole. The rhythm is easily detected because it can be compared with that of a staircase. Villanueva Ciudad Universitaria has plenty of examples of rhythm, which through the repetition of shapes also adds color to the pattern. This rhythm is definite and closed thanks to the blue strand which marks the beginning and the end of the pattern. Vertical and horizontal circulation. Circulation regulates the way we experience spaces. The way we get to the place generates different reactions from the users, such as the emotion set by the ramp of the Universidad Central de Venezuela, which gives entrance to the Aula Magna, or the garden spaces as part of the circulation of the Alcaldía de Baruta building. The Caminerías Tachadas of the Universidad Central de Venezuela are examples of the way to create a fresher experience for the circulation through the university's campus, making the best of the wind and the sunlight. The circulation in slums is quite difficult. With steep stairs and narrow walkways, life in the slums get harder every day. Space and scale. Venezuelan interior spaces need to be in direct relationship with the exterior spaces at all times due to the climate in Venezuela. Open spaces are the best spaces to be in and generate the best experiences. Spaces which let the light filter in and the breeze pass through represent the most pleasant places to be in Venezuela. Interior spaces must be exquisite, though they will never compete with the paradise that is in the outside. There is nothing like Venezuela. That is why the lighting, the colors, the rhythms, the circulation methods, the spaces, and the textures and their combinations are only for Venezuela. Venezuela makes the best of its attributes in order to transform its architecture in something which must